Hello, thank you for joining us, Renowden Buyers Advocates in Melbourne. We're auction bidding and private sale negotiation specialists, and we can help you find your home as well, any parts of Melbourne. Okay, well the question is what has happened to property values in Melbourne over recent months? What's the trend? Well, it probably comes as no great surprise to you. You've heard it in the press, but it's true that property values are declining. Now, that's a general statement to make, but it's a fairly safe comment, and I'm guessing that or I'm estimating rather than guessing, but I'd be estimating that values generally across Melbourne since the early part of this year have declined probably up to 5%, maybe a bit more in certain areas depending on the type of property. But in general terms, there is a decline across the board. And we use auction success rates as our barometer to gauge that general broad sentiment. And we recently did a video, and I'll put the link down below to that video last week, of the auction success rates, what it means, and we've dissected it in detail, what auction success rates represent. And if you're interested, I suggest you have a look at that, because I went into a bit of detail on that. But in summary today, what we've seen since the beginning of this year, say January, February, well, auctions really only get started in February. The success rate at that time was around 70%, and 70% is a fairly happy market. It's a market where prices are still on the increase. And 70 to 80 is at full steam, but 70% certainly is a good, healthy market. And we've seen it decline down to the point of, in July, the month just passed, where we had 5 weekends of auctions. We saw success rates in the mid to high 50s, 54 to 58% actually. And 54 to 58%, mid to high 50s, represents a market that is clearly lacking a lot of confidence. And prices will be declining. Once you get under 60% success rate, that is representative of a market that where sentiment is on the back foot for sure. Fewer buyers are attending auctions. Many auctions don't have a buyer, full stop, and the success rate is considerably lower as a consequence. Now, that, as I said, that other video that I produced last week, I go into considerable detail on dissecting what auction figures represent. But in short, you've got the auction breakdown. You have sales prior to auction, sales at auction, and sales after auction. Now, I won't go into all of that now, because I did it in that previous video, which, as I said, the link is down below. But the numbers you can't actually see of numbers of bidders at each auction. So a successful sale is a good piece of information, but what ideally you'd like to have, which we don't have access to, but what you'd like to have is numbers of bidders at each auction. Now, I know anecdotally, and I participate in the market obviously, so I see it firsthand, the auctions over the last couple of decades generally have seen, in most cases, you would see between 2 and 5 buyers competing for a property. Now, that is a really, really healthy market, and it's as good as it's ever been. And I've been collecting these results for a very long time. But now, with the trend going from, say, around 70% in February down to into the mid-50s, auction results will typically, and I'm speaking generally here, typically across Melbourne, see 1 or 2 buyers, or in a lot of cases no buyers, with many properties passed in, going on the private sale market, and hopefully get sold in the next month or 2 after they've been passed in. And in that environment, you clearly have prices declining. They cannot be sustained in an upward direction if you have that fewer number of buyers that are participating in auctions. And auctions are representative of the broad market. That's private sales and auction sales. So if auction sales are performing badly, private sales will be performing very similarly. So that's worth keeping in mind. So anyhow, look, I just wanted to give you a short update on how the market's going. Yes, unfortunately, market prices are trending down in Melbourne for house prices, probably down, I think, 5%, maybe more for certain property types in certain areas. But mortgage rates, no doubt, will be the cause of it, and a general sentiment driven market. We've got a few concerns broadly around the market at the moment, but interest rates would be the main one. So we'll see what happens. We'll follow this space. Look, if you like this video, please give us a like. That's much appreciated. Leave a comment if you want to leave a little comment or ask a question. And subscribe if you'd like to receive our future updates on the market. So look, thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. From Bruce Renowden, Renowden Buyers Advocates, cheerio for now.